your face, you be like. When the bass drum hit your face, you. Drum hit your face, you be like. When the bass drum hit your face, you be like. When the bass drum hit your face, you.
2953 features racing prizes generously donated by the following. Racing fans in any racing class will win you one set of Stalker or Hunter disc mounts from Predator Mounts. All 7 Hammerhead team members will win in-game items should they place in the podium. Both turret team members that place on the podium can win either Hawks and Mustang Vindicators, Furies or P-72s and more. And both duo team members that place on the podium can win either Hawks, Furies or P-72s and more. Good luck to the racers of Scarlet Apex.
It's us! Hello! Hello, everyone! It's us! Hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day. It is, ladies and gentlemen, Scarlet Apex, day 1, Heat 1. And it's a very fancy one. Let's get this bread red. Now, today, it's not just myself and Red, as it has been in the past with Crux. We also have Echobit, our fantastic racing director, in the center here, to give us all the information about the stuff that we don't understand.
There's a lot we don't understand.
Yeah, how do ships fly? What the hell is a distortion? What even is Star Citizen? They're all very, very complex questions. But I mean, let's start off. How are you guys going? How have you been? I assume, just like every other event that exists, that Red, we haven't seen each other since the Crux Cup. How have you been? How are you going? How are you enjoying Star Citizen at the moment?
So Star Citizen recently, actually, I mean, still going with the mining sessions. I'm excited about those going out there. But yeah, my personal life, I've had a new co-pilot edition, so that's been sucking up most of my sleep and a good portion of my gaming schedule. So
fair enough. And like, yeah, congrats on the kid. It sounds like it's been a time, we'll say.
Yeah.
And Echobit, you know, we got to actually have a chance to hang out with you in, you know, on Twitch with the event with the Fury LXs, where everyone got to hang out with those. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and Ignition Expo was so much fun. Such a unique opportunity to be able to test a racing ship ahead of time. The Fury LX is incredible. It's so fast in space. The fastest acceleration in the game. Yeah, just an amazing experience.
Yeah, that ship is nasty. It's probably the one ship that's gotten me back into like flying racing and just spamming Yadar Valley over and over and over again, because it's just it's crazy, that ship. Really fun too. One of the weird ships where it's like, because it's got weird acceleration compared to like some of the other vehicles, the way that you actually have to like turn into some turns and whatnot, just it's fun. Absolutely loving it. And we're actually going to get to see some of those over the course of the event too, so I'm very excited to see those. But let's talk about this. What are we here for? We're here for the Scarlet Apex. If you guys weren't here last year, essentially, Echobit and those at ANZIA Alliance made a race that was like, hey, what if we did allow guns, but only distortions? And it was fantastic. Last year's event was absolutely awesome. We had the chance to see like cutlasses with distortions knock each other out. Cutlasses, in fact, were an absolutely outstanding vehicle during the event. It was really, really cool. Lots of changes to it this year, though. We've changed a lot of things. We've got, similar to how the Crux Cup now runs, we've actually got divisions of vehicles. So today we're going to get to see some Hammerheads with distortions, which I'm very, very excited for. Never really seen an event like that before.
This is, I would say, the Hammerhead, fully crewed, is kind of the Star Citizen nerd's dream, right? We get multiple, you know, we've got crews of what, six gunners with the pilot. Yep. They've got pit crew and backups. I think it's going to be really exciting to see these large capital class ships engaged, especially with the distortion, because I think that adds just enough of a wrinkle. It makes things interesting. We're going to see how these vehicles can weather those hits once they get disabled, how long it takes them to get back up, if there's anything the CIG team has put in the fuel tank to give themselves a bonus there. But yeah, in addition, we've got the additional classes, the turret class, featuring 2 Hurricanes and a Scorpius today. I think those are going to be pretty lethal ones to watch out for. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ekobit, what do you think? What are you most excited to see in today's Heat 1?
So Hammerheads was kind of a last-minute addition to the competition, and I'm just so excited to see a huge amount of scattergun fire spread all over the arena, and 3 of them running fully crewed at once. That's just unheard of. That's insane.
Yep. Yeah, it's very exciting. Now, I do have to put you down a bit here, Ekobit. I just noticed that there's no merch command, but that's all right. I'm gonna go find it. And I'm gonna give it to you all because you guys can get some of this merch and help support these events going forward from an absolutely amazing community. So you guys talk while I do that because I need to find it. One sec.
Yeah. So beyond the, we've talked about the Hammerhead class. We have the turret class. We also have the duo class. So teams of 2 pilots in single seaters. We're going to see the Fury LX, and we even have the Razor LX making an appearance there with the single seat racer duo teams there. We did see an intro on the prizes that are available during the stream start there. And again, this is Heat 1. We're having Heat 2 next Saturday. Heat 3 resumes the week after CitizenCon, and then the championship coming up on the week following. So we've got the entire schedule there. I'm sorry, I don't have entire schedule out there as people move on. So the winners from each of their classes today are going to move into that championship round coming up in the future. Yeah,
it's going to be good fun. So yeah. Obviously, we're not going to be doing this during CitizenCon because everyone will be at CitizenCon. So there is going to be a little bit of a break during this series of races, but then we'll be right back to it with a lot of fun. I guess let's have a look at some of the people that we're going to see today, Ekobit. Let's have a look at some of the competitors that are playing today. We've got a couple of Hammerhead teams. We got a few Hurricane Scorpius teams. Lots of Furies and Fury LXs on the field as well. So yeah, if we can have a look at some of those teams, that'd be great. There we go. So here are the teams for the 3 heats, guys. So yep, number 1 of each heat goes towards the championship, and we are at heat number 1 today. So we're looking at that top left there. Black Star Legion, Frontier Consolidated, Cloud Imperium Gamers. They're all going to be running Hammerheads. Frontier Consolidated again, Outlaws of the Void, the Book Club, they're in our turret class, and in our little solo boys class, we've got the Black Star Racing, Frontier Consolidated again, and Southern Cross Alliance. These guys are everywhere. Frontier Consolidated. I swear I see them everywhere.
Yeah, they have great representation in the racing community, and especially within these events. So, very familiar names, obviously. Black Star Legion, I think we're excited to go out there. And one of the comments you made, and I think I agree, Outlaws of the Void, having probably one of the more impressive team logos as we get to dive in there.
Yeah, honestly, embarrassing the entire rest of us. One that I do want to point out specifically is we do have a bunch of amazing races here, but the admins clearly hate me because in heat number 3, which we're going to get to in a couple weeks' time, both Team Splend and Team Punch Buggy in the same heat, meaning they're going to have to eliminate each other into the championship run. There is no way this wasn't done just to spite me.
Yeah, and you know what? Unfortunately, the way the heats play out, it does mean that some of your favorite racers may face off and eliminate each other in those early rounds. It would be interesting to be able to see those teams in the championship round, but you know what? They got to earn it. They've got to earn it.
Yep. Another, also just a quick thing. Thank you very much to Expat Brat for that amazing pre-show. It was very, very fun. Very, very cool. Can't wait to see some more of those. And we'll probably hear from you later today.
Yeah, and I will say, Expat Brat, she puts on a clinic for anybody who's interested in the additional camera controls. Her face over IP, the machinima she does is fantastic work, and she so rarely breaks character. I feel like she's got the role down very well. So it's
what
fantastic
character,
watching her.
What character?
You know what? Actually,
it's real.
This is true. It's
all real.
This is 100%. The fully engaged and immersed in the experience, and I think she delivers.
I agree. All right, let's see a little bit of a closer look at some of these teams, see who's in them. I'd love to see who is in these Hammerheads. Echo, just whoever you want to start with. There we go. So yeah, Cloud Imperium Gamers, Frontier Consolidated, and Black Star Legion all in the Hammerheads. It's gonna be really, really interesting watching these guys go through. We haven't talked about the format itself, guys, but very similar to the Crux Cup. You know, you've got an hour, get as many laps in as you can. Though obviously, you know, you're spending some of those laps drifting aimlessly as your ship shuts off. Yeah, let's have a look at Cloud Imperium Gamers because we've got a return person there as always. Nobble and Sunny. They've been participating in a lot of events around recently, which has been awesome. And we've got a camera from Expat there, so we're going to be seeing them quite a lot. So we've got Nobble piloting, then we've got Sunny, Xverxes, Marsbat, O'Rodder, and Bob, not Bob. Is it Bob or not Bob? They're going to be in the turrets for that team.
And Expat providing us with her direct view from within the vehicle. I think this is a great opportunity. I just wish she stays safe out there. You know, that's the number one thing. Now, non-lethal, all the weapons here are going to be distortion, so that shouldn't be a risk, but there's always the possibility when the ship's disabled, you might collide with something. There's asteroids, there's other ships. I am looking at Expat's view right now with the amount of party markers that are just loading into this server. It is going to be, I think it's going to be a hairball. So.
Yeah, important to note exactly what you said. The distortions aren't lethal. Asteroids tend to be. In fact, they're probably one of the most lethal things in Star Citizen, as we're all very aware of. Or maybe that's just me. Maybe I just crash a lot. Let's move on. This is a fantastic team. Genuinely though, thank you once again, CRG, for popping into some of these community events. Maybe today's your day. Who knows? Maybe you'll get there. So let's have a look at the next team. Here we go. So we've got Black Star Legion. Once again, some more memorable names in there. Speedweed, my personal favorite name in the entirety of Star Citizen. Zilius is going to be our pilot there. We've got Warspite, Onodrem, Queen Arya, Lone Wolf, Speedweed, and Serenity Valley as our turrets.
Yep. Excited to see these folks out there representing the Black Star Legion.
Yeah, very much so. Let's have a look at the next team. Frontier Consolidated. Once again, guys, these guys are in just like everything. Massive org. Looking to, you know, one of those sort of teams where it's just like, we don't need skill if we just throw as many people at the event as we possibly can, right? But that doesn't mean they don't have skill. This one's going to be piloted by Ryu Kira. We got Tech Panda, Scuba Pro, Kurz. I have no idea how I'm supposed to pronounce that. Karachi. Yeah, probably Karachi, yeah. Loud Guns, everyone knows Loud Guns. Canfound and Darth Backy. All of those players are in our turrets as well. Hoping to see some really good things from them as well. We got to see Loud Guns perform pretty decently at the Crux Cup earlier this year.
Yeah, no, you corrected yourself on there, and I'm sure the Frontier Consolidated people appreciated. There is some undeniable talent in here.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have seen Loud Guns, another content creator out there doing great work helping the profile of Star Citizen. And yeah, I'm excited to see how Frontier Consolidated represents in today's event.
Definitely. Let's get on to some of the turret teams that we'll be seeing today. Outlaws of the Void Noise, my brain's not working, and Frontier Consolidated once again. So we've got two Hurricanes and the Scorpius here. Now, obviously, there's a pretty big difference between these two ships. You know, you've got 8 size 3s on the Scorpius, whereas you've got the 4 size 3s and the 2 size 4s on the Hurricane. So a little bit of a difference. The maneuverability is going to be a bit more relevant for the Scorpius, though personally, I mostly fly it in atmosphere, so I'm not 100% sure how it's going to go in space with everything that's going on, because you got to remember, you're not just trying to outfly some of these other ships. You know, there's Hammerheads in there too. So yeah, interesting to see there. Let's see who's in these teams.
So for Frontier Consolidated, we have Tint in the pilot seat, and Nextro, they are in a Hurricane.
Yeah, Tint is an absolutely massive person in the racing community. Has been a huge help for ANZIA, and just a great person overall. So really excited to see what these guys can do for the turret class.
Yep. Void Noise, we've got Deku Dez in the pilot seat and Logar Wilco running the turret again in a Hurricane. facing off against Tint and Extro.
Yeah, gonna be awesome to
from
see them.
Team Void
It
Noise.
always is good when you've got, you know, the two like sort of hurricanes. We get to see who is the better hurricane pilot. Very, very excited for that. And we have Outlaws of the Void. This is what me and Red were talking about. Look at that awesome logo. I love it. That is a sick org logo. So Jason Nash is going to be piloting the Scorpius with Riker Enzo in the turret.
Yeah, now I heard that that logo is for another content project that may be coming out. We'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely. And here we go, guys. We've got the little boys. There is a lot of Furies on this board here. I was kind of curious. We were talking about this just before the stream began. I was kind of wondering, you know, you do lose the distortions if you're using the Fury LX, but it's just so fast. The G's that this thing can pull off is kind of crazy. I will say, I have tried to do Miner's Lament so many times with the Fury LX since it came out, and I can't do it without blacking out. So let's see if these guys are able to, you know, not black out. Maybe that is the issue. It's not the distortions, it's the pure G forces that you're pulling.
Absolutely. And you know what? Coming into one of these fights unarmed, you know, it's a risk, but we'll see how it plays out. For the first team, Black Star Legion, we've got Playing Fox and Billboy, some staples within the racing community here at Anzia Racing. They are, let's see, Billboy, they're doing the Fury LXs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, some Fury LXs from these guys makes a lot of sense. I've been seeing Billboy a ton in Arena Commander ever since 320 came out. And Billboy's fast. Kind of embarrassed me in one of the races, pulled out like 100i and beat me when I was flying the Fury LX. So, it was a little sad. I think so yeah, expect good things from these guys.
Just a serving of a humble pie to remember, you know, it's you may have the fastest vehicle, but there's a skill gap that can be pretty apparent sometimes. I feel like I'm on the trailing end of that skill gap as well. Somebody that's still, you know, I have my share of seat time to put in before I consider myself an accomplished racer. These guys have been doing it, so.
Yep. Alrighty. So next up, we have Frontier Consolidated once again with Professor Decoy and Noise Maze. These guys are just on the regular Furies, so they're going to have a little bit of distortion firepower on them, and we'll see what they can do with that. Like I said, it's very, very different to the Fury LX. I do have some racing profiles here. We are very professional and definitely remembered that and did not have to be pinged that by EchoBit. So let me get those guys up. Or do I not have them? Maybe I'm blind.
No, we do it live here. Currently.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So Noise Maze got into racing. The thing that got them into racing was a community event to introduce players to ground racing at the new Babbage Garage Tour. One of my personal favorite ground vehicle races for sure. Their claim to fame, at least for Noise Maze, is just exploding ships for the camera, which for us, we really, really appreciate that. Really brings up the production of the stream.
Absolutely. You know, the explosions are half of the reason why we're here. You know, we get those situations now today. Hopefully not going to see a whole ton of them, but I do think we're going to see some excitement with the vehicles being disabled, getting in and out. I am also catching up to that location in the document for the profile, so if you could take over for a moment.
Oh, good. Echo, we haven't heard from you in a while. What do you think about this team?
Frontier Consolidated are kind of special in the community, and in particular Tint, who I would like to shout out, who has led and built a racing team and an org, which includes all of the divisions of the org: science, exploration, service, security. Everyone in the org is involved today in supporting these races. It's an incredible achievement, and they should be proud of themselves. They're also top of the RSI leaderboard as an org right now.
Yeah, 100%. They're an absolutely fantastic org. One thing that does come out from Professor Decoy's interview is their claim to fame, which EchoBit was them getting cheated out of first place in the Open for the 2953 Crux Cup due to server bugs.
Ooh.
Don't we all feel that in our bones?
Oh, I don't know if it would be Star Citizen without that. I mean, of course, I think we remember Crux Cup coming in, supposed to happen during the 3.18 release, and initially delayed because of those issues. 3.18, probably one of the rougher starts in recent memory for a new patch, but got things ironed out once things stabilized. For the most part, folks still managing that, but that's the nature of a live service game and a playable alpha. There's good days and bad days. So
yeah, and a nice little message from them though, from this team. Is there anything you'd like to say to us as a community? Be excellent to each other. Love it, absolutely love it. Even though they are a massive org, they're still friendly, and that's important.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our last team that we're going to be seeing today, which is Southern Cross Alliance. Come on, Team Down Under. So we've got Numinos in the Fury LX and Zollner in the Razor. A bit of an interesting one there. I do think, especially with Scarlet Apex, this is one of those things where you really want to be just making sure you're flying vehicles that you're comfortable with, not necessarily that are the best, because you've got the more experience with it. Doesn't matter if you're going to get extra speed or extra maneuverability. If you're really comfortable in those vehicles, do it. Plus, they might know something we don't. I guess we'll find that out today. So,
well, based on Numinos' racing profile, the one thing that stands out to me they describe their racing style as slightly mitigated panic, and I feel spoken to. Right, understood fully. I'm there with you.
Yeah.
And Zollner, got into racing with Gran Turismo and the desire for speeds unattainable. Star Citizen was natural, gravitating towards racing. And the first experience was an org ground race, beat the entire org, and got an invitation to the Crux Cup out of it. So
delicious. I will say one thing. Obviously, Numinos is someone of my own heart. So when the Fury LX came out, the video that myself and EchoBit and a bunch of others from the community were in, there was a question. What wins the race, the ship or the pilot? Well, Numinos says combination of both. There are definitely affinities and preferences in play, and being in a ship you're comfortable with is the most important one. Awesome. Fantastic. EchoBit, any comments on Southern Cross Alliance? I mean, you're a bit biased, but...
I am a bit biased. They are my home team, and I am cheering them on. It's really nice to see Numi and Zollner, two really wholesome racers, team up together, where they were opposing teams in Crux Cup. And to fly my banner, I really respect and appreciate you guys. And on the ship answer, I said to CIG both, but they wouldn't allow it, so I had to pick ship as an in-game character answer.
Now, one note here: Zollner is the only one who opted to go with something besides the Fury in the Duo class. He talks about the Razor LX, and the decision there. The Razor LX is his first pick for most things. It was pretty balanced and adept at about all environments, and now it's like strapping yourself to an Acme rocket. So we'll see how that compares, contrasts to the Furies that are going to be really dominating that Duo class today.
Yeah. I'm really interested just to see how the entire Duo class goes with just all of the carnage that's going to be going on around them. A reminder that there will be 3 Hammerheads on the field. That's very important, ladies and gentlemen, to remember. Because first off, that's a hazard in its own right. That's quite a large vessel. And then you're going to have to be trying to zoom around all of their shots as well. So very curious to see what happens there. I think the Fury LX is probably going to have a bit of an advantage there, but I mean, yeah, I'm curious to see what we can do with the Razor. Now, because EchoBit, myself and Red completely messed up, do we want to go back to Cloud Imperium Gamers and we'll tell you a little bit more about what that team actually, told us, what some of the team members were able to tell us. So Noble, once again, Noble, a person who has been participating in Star Citizen racing events for quite a while now, joined in the New Babbage Bash with Atmo Esports, which was absolutely fantastic. The interesting question, what will they do on the release day of Star Citizen? Celebrate the release with the team and pray we manage a smooth release. I'd be taking a day off. I don't have to work on the game anymore. Awesome.
Yeah, I'd take time off. I'd put as much time into the game as I could, just playing it and enjoying it. And obviously, I think that day is going to be fantastic for the all of the development team to go out, watch content creators that are out there streaming and enjoying, and their experiences as we get to that point. The claims to fame is that they survived the Daymar Rally 2953. That was it's good to see them involved in across the board for these community sponsored events, and I think that's what's pretty fantastic about CIG and the Star Citizen community is the engagement we have, the community sponsored events, the ones that we're just we bring them up together, and it's amazing to get that level of support from them.
Yeah, definitely. Echo, do you want to choose a team, and we'll talk a little bit more about them? Because as I said, myself and Red really dropped the ball. I don't think you should invite us next time. Frontier Consolidated once again in the Hammerheads with Ryu Kira. What got them into racing is they say, I wouldn't completely say I'm into racing, but the Snake Pit Racetrack and the Anzia community would definitely be what sparked it all. It's been really awesome to see all these racing communities pop up over the course of the last few years. I'd say in the last 3 years, we've really had massive push from a lot of these communities. And it's been awesome to see people come into them and say, hey, that's really cool. I want to join in. So thank you for joining, Ryu Kira.
And one other thing to note, obviously someone who's trying to earn bonus points with the host, favorite racing ship to fly is the Mole.
You're damn right. That's it. Give him the prize right now.
I want to see that. That more with the Crack Scout.
CIG, give us distortion mining lasers, okay?
Oh my goodness. I've tried more than once for a good battle mole, and I just it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Absolutely love it. What are you in for at Fame Credits? What are you doing? I'm in it to be part of the Frontier team, as well as proving to myself my capabilities. Well, 100%. This is one of the races to do it. See if you can beat some of the best in a bit of an unusual format, in that you wouldn't really do this in the live game. So you have to think a lot differently than you normally would. So we'll see what you can do there.
Excellent. And the Black Star Legion with Zilius, him, that got into racing because the org mates got you into racing. Always like the time trialing from time to time. The type of races they normally compete in are the Scarlet Apex, actually being the first race for Zilius. So, be an interesting start. Got a full crew behind them, so that'll be fantastic to see with all those turrets going.
Yeah, I will say probably one of the best racing styles in Star Citizen, with just the description of safe. I mean, if you participate in Scarlet Apex, I feel like that's a pretty solid strat here.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a contrast. Those teams that decide to take it a little conservative, make sure you're running a clean route and maybe ignoring a little bit or trying to avoid some of those combats versus the folks that might put a little bit of spice on it and go after and try and engage, disabling their opponents first, and then trying to clear up that racetrack so that they can just breeze on through.
Yep. And one thing you wanted to say to the community, Star Citizen is a community-based game. If you aren't flying or fighting with either friends, an org, or a community, you're missing over half the fun. There are so many wonderful citizens out there that can help you get involved. What are you talking about? I thought Star Citizen was a single-player game. Could have sworn.
Yeah, I don't think he's met Croncy.
Wait a minute.
No, that is one of the things as a multiplayer online game. I think that's what sets the community apart. And there are great organizations and groups that put together events like this, things that get you engaged. Also we've got a Bar Citizen, kind of environment set up just about any location. And those are the people that are responsible for getting people into the game, having an engaging experience, and really helping foster that fantastic community. So very, very much appreciated there on the community side.
Yeah, definitely. As we continue setting up, let's have a look at another team and just give you guys a bit more information, like I said. So back to Frontier Consolidated, but with Tint at the head. Tint, what got them into racing? I got started racing as a way just to try and improve my flight skills. Started trading times with another player from Frontier, and that little bit of competition was all it took to get me hooked. You know what? I can really relate to that. When I started doing the Yada Valley like track races a couple of weeks ago, Splen popped into my stream and it was like, oh, well, I just beat my last time by a second. And I was like, well, damn it, now I need to go faster. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. That is the best thing about this community.
Yeah. I will say, watching those guys set new records, it's, you know, if you're trying to chip away at that, it's like shoveling the walk while it's a blizzard outside. You know, every time you feel like you've made progress, they're setting new times. And, you know, I think the new racing tracks that came out with 319, the Arena Commander racing, there's so much more time to develop those skills. And you really see those skill pilots setting themselves even further apart from the rest. One note about Frontier Consolidated, the release day of Star Citizen, FC is going to be pounding energy drinks and hitting the tracks to set the first live times in the verse.
Well, I know a lot of people who they're going to be competing against to try to set those first live times, but I'm sure it's going to be hard competition with Frontier. So we can't wait to see that, guys. Let's move on to the next team. So once again, Void Noise with Deku Des at the helm. What got them into racing was doing racing contracts and testing different environments, led them to realize they liked zero-G racing with Miner's Lament. I cannot relate to that. I cannot stand zero-G racing. I'll watch it. I'm never flying it. I'm telling you right now, I go a bit. Although it was difficult to learn, I enjoyed the experience, and then I wanted to see how my personal best was compared to the rest of the racing community in Star Citizen. Really important thing there is I think that's the first sort of person that I'm saying I actually did the in-game racing contracts and that got me into racing, which is awesome. That means the racing contracts are working. It's expanding the racing community, so that's fantastic.
Yeah. And what they're in it for, they like the competition, learning the track in every single spot, managing speeds, boosts, Gs. When they feel like they're stuck on a time, watching other racers' timings and strategy to try and work harder on their own. I think that is one other thing. You go out and you see some of these top record times. They've got the videos attached, studying how another racer runs the track, what lines they're taking, when they're using boost. You know, these are all skills that it takes a significant amount of practice and very good familiarity with the track to know when to boost, when you can really push it that much further. So
yeah, and then of course the advantage of this track is a zero-G track, and they, Deku Des, do claim #1 place on the official Star Citizen leaderboards for Miner's Lament. So they're going to be a very, very tough team to beat, Void Noise.
Yeah, and I think that race profile compared to the Scarlet Apex track we're being running today, I think it's going to be very similar. We'll see if that experience out here in the asteroid field is going to give them give any edge on the competition.
Yeah, definitely. All right, there was only sort of one team that we kind of missed talking a little bit about, I believe, which was Outlaws of the Void. So yeah, Outlaws in the Scorpius with Jason Nash. Again, Esper, who is Jason Nash, is my understanding. Esper does a lot of work with Atmo Esports. What got them into racing is they're a pilot. We like to go fast. I would certainly hope so. Their first relationship was a 350R, which actually was a very common answer among a lot of our competitors today. So even though we're not seeing any 350Rs on the field today for obvious reasons, very cool to see that there is that little bit of, you know, friendship that everyone can hold there, memories of the 350R.
Yeah, and what they're going to be doing on release day is building reputation with Tisha, Twitch, right? Getting out there, getting those missions going, diving in head first. And
anything that Esper would like to say to Star Citizen community, Outlaws come alive in the nighttime. Watch the Machinima coming to Esper in space this winter. You know what, Esper? I stan it. I love it. I love the self. I can't even. What's it called? Go check out Esper on YouTube.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. So I think that's it. I think actually we didn't really talk much about Black Star Legion in the duo teams. We didn't talk much about Billboy and Playing Fox other than that they're really good. So we'll also have a quick look at those. I believe, did we talk about Decoy and Noise Maze?
There is some brief
Pretty much,
mention now.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we talked. Yeah. So once again, they joined the new garage tour. Their favorite racing ship to fly is the Tofu Delivery C8X. Haven't seen it called that before, but I do love it. Absolutely fantastic.
I'm pretty sure that's a reference to the Anzia track, Super Dragon Tofu run. So,
of course, that makes a lot of sense. See, that's why we pay you the big bucks, Red.
to
make those connections.
I helped debut that track, and I did some decent work, but my times were quickly outmatched. Yeah.
And then Professor Decoys, their racing style, inefficient brute force. I feel like if you're in the Fury, that is terrifying. Like if someone tells me they're going to beat me by brute force, I just feel like they're going to be behind me 5 feet away, constantly trying to ram me. So we'll see if that's actually the playstyle that Decoy goes for today.
All right.
So yeah, Playing Fox and Billboy. So we already talked a lot about these guys. They're absolutely fantastic racers. They had a fantastic performance during the Crux Cup earlier this year. And they got champion in AX2. Absolutely fantastic performance from them. For Billboy, what do you win it for? Just always had a love for racing in general. So when it became something people were doing in SC, I jumped right in. I've been in love with it ever since.
And just one little plug there. The release day on Star Citizen, they said they're going to roll over in their grave. The boundless sense of optimism of a Star Citizen backer.
Very much so. And then Playing Fox, of course, Billboy's second-hand man, or first-hand man, really, honestly, got into racing through Splen. Googling Star Citizen Racing and Splen stream. I'm unsurprised. Splen is an absolute giga chad, a fantastic friend of the stream and the community. Everyone knows Splen, and also a really good person at getting people to compete against them. So unsurprised that Playing Fox joined that way, but that's awesome to see. Loves the Razor. Not using the Razor today, but loves the Razor. And yeah, their claim to fame, winning the AX2 and third place at the Crux for themselves. I believe that they top 2 of the top 3 were Billboy and Playing Fox.
Yeah, for sure. We're just getting a notification that race direction, we're 10 minutes behind now, still forming the grid. And yeah, we've got some behind the scenes views as the teams are assembling. So they are getting ready. We're getting close to race time start, but they're just assembling at the race line. Now, one other thing about Playing Fox, what wins the race, the ship or the pilot? The pilot that understands the ship. So we'll see how that goes with the Fury LX. Do you feel like people have a good handle on the ship at this point?
Well, one of the advantages of 320 is you've been able to get more practice in racing ships in both Atmosphere and Zero G really than ever before. So it's been really, really good for that, right? So the Fury LX was a little bit iffy. We knew all of the stats that it had. It's still sort of undecided in a racing environment if it's the best for Atmosphere, but it's certainly fast. And in Zero G, I think these races have certainly gotten an edge on it. I expect any of the people that we do see in the Fury LX today to do an absolutely fantastic job, depending on whether or not they actually can avoid getting shot. Yeah. We know these guys are great racers, but are they good avoiders, if you will?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because as a solo seat, right, you've got to manage flying and avoiding all the other distortion weapons. A lot of these others, the turret class and the hammerheads. You got people out there. Their only job is to get out and shoot at you. So. Perhaps some advantage for those turret gunners, putting a little focus on the smaller ships, putting the hurt on.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's everyone. In a bit of a weird order, because like I said, me and Red completely forgot what the hell we're doing here today. So yeah, Heat 1. It's a little scuffed, and that's what we're about. But yeah, Echo Bit. You love all those teams. Out of all of those teams today, every single one of those teams, who are you most excited to see?
Cloud Imperium Games, the underdogs of the Hammerhead class. So excited to see so many of the staff members joining into the community. What other game does this? Where their own developers join in with the community and build the most incredible game as well as participate in it. There's nothing like this. This is a golden era for video gaming.
Confirmation that devs in other companies don't know how to play games. There you go.
Take note. Yeah, it will be exciting to see how they get in there. And like I said, if they snuck anything secret into that fuel tank, you know.
Couple of extra bottles of NOS just to pump it a little bit extra.
I feel like there needs to be a mandatory ship exchange before the race starts. The CIG crew just abandons ship, swaps out with one of the other racers, just to make sure it's all fair.
Yeah, definitely. So, Echo, I believe we might have just like some views of some people getting ready. Maybe. Am I right? Yes? No?
That sounds good. Just before we jump into that,
yep.
Let's have a look at the track guide and show everyone what the Scarlet Apex track looks like. Welcome to the Scarlet Apex, a combat race located outside of Grim Hex, Yella, and the Stanton system. The start and finish line of the track is located at one cable of 4 that isn't connected to a central asteroid. Pass the start line by going under the cable where the thinner cables float, and aim for the next closest cable in view. This is the same for every checkpoint. Pass on the side with the most thinner floating cables. That is the Scarlet Apex Combat Racing Track. Good luck to all racers of Scarlet Apex.
I just feel like making one comment about that. First off, fantastic job, Echo Bit, getting that video. And those soundtracks are fire. I get the behind-the-scenes cameras, and as it's going, Karanti and I are both bobbing our head to the beat, just subconsciously. It's the Echo Bit has done a fantastic job on producing these resources. So, and of course,
you know what? Good. I deserve my head pats. I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah.
Now,
head pats.
That was absolutely fantastic. Very cool to see. So, as you would have noticed, for the most part, it's not the most complex track, but where it does become complex is when you do get shut off, or you find yourself in some of those turns can get a little bit awkward if you're in the middle of a firefight and you may actually miss the turn and whatnot. So that's where a lot of the skill of the flying comes in. That, in addition to, as I said earlier, the Furies are really good at knocking you out incredibly quickly if you go too fast. So that's where a lot of that's coming in. It's really going to come down to, this is why I really like the turret gunners. It's really going to come down to how their aim is. And then with the duo classes, I mean, I don't know. It's really just going to be about how fast you can go, how many laps you can get in.
And the track itself is going to be an interesting one because you have 3 of those cables you got to slalom around attached to the one asteroid. Your 4th, kind of the start and end, is offset a little bit. So we'll see whether that disorientation, obviously these racers have had practice runs and other heats to try and make sure they keep themselves engaged on that track. But when the distortion weapons start firing and your ship's offline, you might lose that line pretty easily. So
very much so. I just noticed that my room is very much not in the colors. I've got to change it one sec.
Looks like we are getting some hammerheads lining up in the grid now, so I think we will switch over to cameras and start having a look at what's going on with Expert.
Awesome, let's check it out. So I'm probably mostly today looking out for, obviously, Billboy and Playing Fox. I think they're going to be one of the teams that are extremely favored to get through today. And then, of course, Frontier consolidated in the turret team. Definitely another team to look out for. But I am curious how the Scorpius versus Hurricane is going to go. We sort of do have an idea of what the Fury LXs are going to do, but how's the rest of it going to be?
Yeah, the Scorpius versus that Hurricane is going to be a very interesting matchup. The maneuverability differences between the ships, how that's going to play out. And yeah, I'm a big fan of the Scorpius, but you know, you suffer some damage and you risk losing some of those the wings with the weapon attachments. We'll see in an hour-long endurance race whether that becomes a factor, if people are dropping weapons, and whether they're able to get replacements. I know that's one thing with Star Citizen. Occasionally, those destroyed weapons aren't coming back on repair, and you know that's additional time. Either you've got to claim a new ship, or just suffer through it. So,
yeah, for sure. So yeah, it shouldn't be too much longer, guys, before we get this underway. As you can see, everyone's lining up. It's going to be an interesting race. A reminder, 1 hour, as many laps as you can complete within that 1 hour. And remember that your ship's probably going to be turning off every now and then because of these distortions. I really, really love that became a thing for really any event, this sort of like middle ground between combat and non-combat, where it's not straight up murder, but if I time it right, I'm going to make you slam into an asteroid. I think that's really cool.
Do you feel like it really speaks to your pacifist nature, Necroncy?
No.
more of a lover and not a fighter. No, the distortion weapons are very much an interesting. You know, coming through with EMPs, you know, we've got the potential to see some of those later on. That's going to be interesting. Obviously, the ship shutdown and recovery time is going to be huge. That I think is one of the factors on the components that does make a difference right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that's going to come into play. And of course, what gets hit also determines that recovery time after a shutdown. So.
Yep, definitely. So we'll see if we can get a little bit of an update from the admins, see where we are sitting roughly. Now, as a reminder, because this is an event from ANZI Alliance, we'll also have incident reports over the course of the event telling us, you know, if people have crashed or exploded, or, you know, they missed a checkpoint, or whatever might happen over the course of the event. You know, there's lots of things that can go wrong.
Yeah, and it's going to be an interesting hour-long endurance race out here. I think we're going to need to see how the larger ships hold out. Obviously, the most turrets out there, the juiciest targets, but you've got the medium-sized turret ships, and then also the solos that, while they're small, they are going to be a lot harder to hit and try and use that agility to their advantage, avoiding or escaping.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think, Echo Bit? What are your initial thoughts? You know, this is a very different way of running it than last year. What do you think we're going to see today?
So the racing classes were definitely an important addition. Last year we ran it as purely an open class. We didn't know what to expect. We just sort of threw everyone in and said, you guys figure it out. And my God, the racers did figure it out. We had Data Machine, who ran a Razor, ended up just trying to put down as many laps as possible. And we had Steve, who was in the Cutlass, also putting down as many laps and was just as dangerous with the turret. They were close, but in the end, the single seat ship won. So that's why we came up with the Joy Racing class this time.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic choice. Well, we think it's a fantastic choice. I think it's going to be really good, and I'm very excited to see what goes. But, you know, events like these can also evolve over time, so maybe next year it'll be only Hammerheads. I mean, I kind of hope it was only Hammerheads. That'd be so sick.
And
like
only
10
Hammerheads. Oh, you know, honestly, with server capacities constantly increasing, I'd love to put it out there. An exclusive Hammerheads only variant. That you know, honestly, it just gets my skin all tingly. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, shouldn't be too much longer, guys. Hope you're having a good time out there. Hope you're getting ready. We've got lots of people running this tournament today, lots of teams, and we've still got 2 more heats after this over the course of the next couple of weeks. As I said, we are going to be skipping CitizenCon because there will be people at CitizenCon, as you might understand. But regardless, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, and that CitizenCon I think is going to be a great opportunity to meet some of these racers, some of the CIG community, CIG devs as well, coming together. We're out here really close to that event. I'm excited. I'm carpooling an 11-hour drive. I know you've got flights coming in from Australia. People are coming in from all around the world to gather and celebrate this fantastic game. As much as we might hate it sometimes, it's still what keeps us coming back. So.
Yeah, I got asked by Detox earlier today, how long is it going to take me to get there? We have some 20-hour flights, both there and back, which would be very fun. We love traveling from Australia. One person pointed out, like, oh, well, it'd be the exact same going to Europe. And yes, it would. So come on, CIG, where's my Australian CitizenCon? Why you got to do this to me?
Yeah, an Australian CitizenCon would be an interesting value proposition. Yeah. I think, we're looking at these vehicles, ships out there getting ready for our Heat 1 of the Scarlet Apex. We gotta love that's the Stormbringer paint on the Hammerhead, right?
It is. I do not like that skin. Don't tell CIG. They're definitely not around. I do not like that skin. I tell you what skin I do actually really like for the Hammerhead is the Ninetales skin. But you can't get it.
The Ninetales is pretty good. Now, where do you stand on the best in show skins that are the bright pink and white?
I don't mind them. them. I think there's better ones out there. I think on the Reclaimer it looks fantastic, but you don't get to see that very often, unfortunately.
Yeah, now that's actually an interesting one. I have that, but at the point when the Reclaimer won Best in Show, those skins were actually an entirely new ship, right? It wasn't a paint that could be applied. It was a separate chassis altogether. Now the development team is working on moving those into just a standard paint scheme, but it's an interesting one. The paint itself worked great, but there were differences between the ship functions. Some features not working on the Best in Show variant that just didn't see much attention. So
yeah, definitely. Oh, loving these views from these Hammerheads. It just, the second that the event starts and we have weapons free and we just see blue lasers across the entire track is going to be absolutely insane. Now, let's throw out some predictions about a couple of things. Firstly, what do you think, Red, is going to be better, Fury LX or Base Fury?
Honestly, I feel like the Fury, the LX has some maneuverability advantages, and I think that's going to be hard to get around. I feel like the LX does have an advantage there, but like I said, it doesn't have the weapons. It's going to be more of a target, and it's not going to be able to return that. I think, with the toss-up there, I'm probably putting my money on the LX. Just because it can avoid.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the people that are in the LX, it definitely makes me think today at least we're going to see the LX. Next question, and this one's for you, Echo. Hurricane or Scorpius?
Hurricane by far.
Whoa,
simply because it has more fuel, it will be able to outlast the Scorpius. The Scorpius will have to refuel at least twice in the race, whereas the Hurricane only once. Or it might even be able to last till the end, place enough laps, and then they can crash and get a new one if they want.
Fair enough. And there we go, guys. We do have a notification from the race director, my good friend, Gentleman Jazz. He gets very drunk. It's good fun. That the formation lap has begun. So we are just about to get underway, guys. It's not too long now. We can see everyone getting in place, getting ready to go. We're about to see some distortions.
Yeah, you see those Hammerheads turning around here, moving up through the track during that formation run. It's going to be fantastic.
Very, very excited. Everyone in chat, let's get some hype going. Heat number 1 of the Scarlet Apex, 29:53. Who's going to win? Let us know who you're going for in the chat. And let's get this 1 hour of laps underway.
Absolutely. Weapons are not free yet. They're still finishing up that formation lap. But these Hammerheads out there, just, majestic beasts as they float through this track. It's going to be, the contrast in size is going to be fantastic.
Yep, definitely. Oh, absolutely lovely. Third question. We've got 3 people on the Hammerheads. We've got three teams on the Hammerheads. Now, Cloud Imperium Gamers have been participating for about a year and a half now in events. They are yet to come out with a title. What do you think their chances are this time around?
I do feel like they're up against some good competition with Frontier Consolidated and Black Star Legion. These are people that are consistently gaming with each other. We'll have to see if CIG can pull something together there with a larger crew. I think they've got a very good shot, but against Frontier Consolidated and Black Star Legion, both very well organized groups, it's going to be tough. If CIG is going to pull it off, they will have earned it. So
definitely. And there we go. We had green flag called about 30 seconds ago. The laps are underway. We're going to see a lot of laps from these guys. Now, remember, there's going to be a lot of instances of refueling, especially from these guys who are getting like 30-second laps. We told you guys that the Fury X was quite fast, but as is Zolna, who I believe was actually in the Razor. So they absolutely crushed it. They got a huge start there. I think it was like a 16-second lap or something like that. Incredibly fast. We'll see who does have the best lap over the course of the entire day. Now, we'll try to get some nice views for you guys. We are having some issues with the stream, a little bit of stuttering and whatnot, but we're going to be updating you the entire time, anytime we learn anything. So make sure you're listening up.
Now, I do want to make a quick comment here. I see the CIG Hammerhead going in there as well. Is that a ghoulish green paint on the other Hammerhead ahead of them?
I believe so.
Both Hammerheads, I'm seeing distortion scatter guns being employed, and God, what a lethal version there. Just a fantastic amount of power coming out with every shot, and yeah, they're exchanging hits. You've got to be closer with that, so we'll see how it pans out. But just as they exchange back and forth, quite the volley. So.
Yeah, definitely. Let me have a look at Gander. As once again, we're just trying to make sure we get some nice feeds for you guys. But hey, this is also one of the reasons we have 3 heats, because that means by the championships, it's going to look nice and crisp. Very, very nice and crisp.
Yeah. Practices, man. Practices. And we see a very, very close approach between the 2 Hammerheads and really just trading shots across the bow. Trading shots across the bow there with the distortion weapons, back and forth. So far, I don't think we've seen anybody have their vehicles disabled. I think what the only thing we've really suffered from distortion has been the broadcast software so far, right?
No, they've targeted the broadcast software, the jerks. Well, yeah, I can tell you guys the speed that these guys are going around is pretty crazy. Even the Hammerheads are not going too slow, honestly. So it's been very, very cool to see. We've got one screen there that we can see of everyone. And here we go. We've got a little bit of a better feed here now of the Hammerhead coming through, throwing some shots back. Look at those distortion scatters go.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that. Even though it is distortion damage, you get hit by one of those on a smaller ship, and it's pretty much game over. You're getting shut down, and it's could be 5 minutes before you're back up on the run.
Yeah, I feel like because this does once again have a similar idea as Crux Couple, where you've got to refuel halfway through. But because you are in 0G, and especially when you're in these Hammerheads, and I don't know how often you have to refuel a Hammerhead, but I've got to imagine we're going to see at least one because, okay, that's wrong. I don't think Professor Decoy just got a less than 1 second lap. So, I mean, look, the Fury's fast, okay? But it's not quite that fast. But yeah, with the hammerheads, you're using so much more of your maneuvering thrusters as you're going around these turns. I've got to imagine the boost is just non-stop.
Yeah, and that's going to be boost management is one major factor in these endurance races. We saw it during Crux Cup. Here, even more, because you're going to be knocked off track, right? You're going to be disabled, and you're not going to have that clean line with the opportunity. So you got to respond to that, try and divert away from that oncoming fire just to preserve your own skin.
Yeah, and there we go. We have a ship destroyed. Professor Decoy crashing at cable number 1. So that's going to cost them a ton because these small little ships can get a lot of laps in during that amount of time. So not great for them there. As we approach the 5-minute mark, we got Playing Fox currently in the lead, followed by Billboy, Professor Decoy, Noise Maze, Zolna, Numinos, Black Star Legion, Void Noise, CIG, absolutely crushing it. They're not too far behind Black Star Legion there. Frontier Consolidated, and Outlaws of the Void.
Right. We are continuing here. Oh, look at those repeaters going back and forth. What a view in that those smaller ships as they take that combat. Gotta just give a quick hand to Expat Brat getting us these fantastic angles throughout the track. A very cinematic experience. That's one of the downsides. You know, we so rarely get the direct racing point of view in these type of events. But the CIG team keeping a seat open for Expat, letting one of the camera crew in and getting the first person looks.
Oh, there we go. We have a little bit of a warning to Jace Nash. This is our Scorpius that's on the field, warning for missing the starting line. And this is sort of one of the things I was mentioning of like the race itself is not particularly complex. The track is not particularly complex, but with so much going around you, and you know, you do have to sort of turn at these unusual angles. It's not just a simple circle. Pretty easy sometimes to miss those locations, especially because there are other cables around, right? You might start heading towards the wrong one.
Yeah. And you know, 0G, it's very disorienting. There's really no frame of reference for up or down in most cases. You know, obviously we've got Yella nearby, but it's going to be an interesting way, you know, an interesting challenge to maintain that track line, getting those warnings as well.
Yeah, definitely. Looks fantastic. I am loving watching this. I'm not going to lie. Just watch this Hammerhead fly around these little cables. Now, Echo, you know, it's been 6 minutes. We just had a new fastest lap from Billboy, also under a second. I'm not quite sure that that's accurate. Maybe the Fury LX is faster than I thought it was. But what's been the biggest surprise so far that you've seen, Echo?
Yeah, so definitely the Duo class picking Fury LXs and going full commit on placing as many laps as possible. I was expecting to see it. We saw Data Machine switch off his weapons, and we've just had the ship released as the fastest in space, the highest acceleration in the game, so pleasantly surprised to see it, not surprised, but beautiful to see some Fury LXs out in the field. Just hope they don't get hit by the hammerheads and turrets. As soon as they're targeted, they are pretty much out.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully they don't run into the hammerheads. It's quite a hefty...
we see the CIG hammerhead right now. It looks like they're engaging a smaller ship. We don't really have visibility on that. It doesn't look like it's another hammerhead. It looks like they might be going after one of those turret class or even one of the duo single seat. Yeah, Chris Roberts, help them.
I would imagine every single time one of those Furies has come past them, they're just thrown a couple of pot shots their way, try to mess with their systems, but I don't know how well they're going to do against those. They're just so fast that I feel like unless you sort of get yourself into an issue where you've got all three hammerheads in a row and then you're trying to fly over the top of them, I don't know if that's going to be much of an issue. The Hurricanes, I think, would be a little bit more of an issue for them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the ship engagement happens. Oh, and it looks like they're coming really close to that asteroid.
Boost!
Narrowly escaping, scraping some paint out there, and that is another one of those challenges here with this track is the proximity. You're in some tight corners if you want to keep a clean line. So
No. Look at the difference in times between playing Fox Billboy and the rest of the field at the moment, though. That is absolutely insane. Plus 4 laps for Noise Maze. These guys have gone through extremely fast. Now, once again, they're very likely going to have to refuel, so that's going to become an issue there. But they just lapped it again. Billboy 5 laps ahead of Noise Maze. That is wild to me.
Yeah, definitely. We've got, let's see, Billboy and Noise Maze. So Noise Maze out in the Fury base, and Billboy in the Fury LX. So seeing them put in the work. Playing Fox also out in the LX, picking up the lead here. So those LXs definitely setting the number of laps. We'll see if they can maintain that with the oncoming fire.
Yeah, definitely. Receiving some fire there too for that Hammerhead. Exchanging shots. Now, we haven't had many talks from anyone about have we seen any collisions or anything like that. You know, distortions can be a little bit finicky in that way. I think I may be wrong, but I actually think I just saw the sides of an explosion off to the right as I was saying that. So maybe not. Oh, what a shame. I was really hoping we could get this perspective. This is the perspective of one of our race cameras watching the entire race go by. It looks like, unfortunately, we won't be able to get that perspective for you. But believe me when I say it's very cool.
Yeah, and I'm watching a couple of the perspectives from the Fury vehicles, and just the pilots in a near blackout state. Those G-forces really pulling hard. You lose a little bit of that with the Hammerhead. You know, these are larger, less maneuverable ships, but they're pulling some forces making great time. But these Furies are just whipping around that track. And honestly, I don't see how it would be really possible to catch up with the speed that these guys are going, to be able to hit them with a Hammerhead. It would be a risk, you know, and obviously the maneuverability being a huge benefit. So,
yeah. All right, looks like we're getting some footage back. There we go. Sorry for that, guys. Yeah, we've been seeing some absolutely fantastic shots from these Hammerheads as they go through. Now, as I was mentioning, the lap difference from the top competitors at the moment is pretty wild. We're seeing Playing Fox and Billboy 4 laps ahead of Noise Maze. But as it continues, 6 laps ahead of our turret class. So even further, make that 5 laps as they manage to get back here. I think what I'm most surprised by, though, is how well our Hammerhead teams have been doing. I mean, I guess we've been seeing some ships destroyed. We've been seeing some warnings being put out that, you know, they've been able to compete here. But I would have expected the Hammerhead to be like 20 laps behind already at this stage. And they're not doing too bad.
And we do see a fastest lap from Prof Decoy again. The sub 1 second lap.
They're too fast.
There. Definitely too fast. So let's see. We actually, is that correct? One of the Hammerheads is marked as destroyed. So CIG, their Hammerhead coming in slightly ahead of Frontier Consolidated. Frontier Consolidated about 40 seconds behind the Cloud Imperium games. And that Black Star group, their Hammerhead is destroyed currently. Are working on getting back in.
Yeah, worth noting as well. Remember, Professor Decoy did, I believe their ship exploded very, very early on, so they probably had to go out and grab a freshie. So that may be why they're only that far behind that. But they're not too far behind. Other than that, Frontier Consolidated, only 4 laps behind there.
All right. Working on resolving some of the stuttering on stream here. We've got a lot of video feeds coming in, and you know this is one of those challenges with the multiple perspective broadcast on a live situation here. Just managing through and hoping to deliver the best views we can for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. So Red just has to pop off for a sec. So while he's popping off, I'm just gonna once again go over where we are position-wise. So we have currently Playing Fox and Billboy in the lead by quite a considerable margin, followed by Noise Maze, Void Noise, Frontier Consolidated, Professor Decoy, Numinos, Cloud Imperium Gamers. Let's hear it for Cloud Imperium Gamers, currently winning in the Hammerhead division. Frontier Consolidated again, and then we've got a couple of ships destroyed, which is a bit rough there. And then Zolna in last place at the moment. Now, remember, you just need to come first in your division in order to qualify for the championships. So we're getting some fantastic shots from these guys. Just now, I'm just watching off to the side. We're getting some great views here where, these Furies are not staying anywhere near these Hammerheads for any amount of time. Barely enough time for you to see them on the signature, get a shot off, and you're never getting a second shot off, essentially. So there hasn't really been an issue there, but I am seeing a lot of exchanging of fire back and forth from the Hammerheads to each other and the Hurricanes to each other as well. So there's a lot of fighting going on there that we're also going to see over the course of the next couple of weeks. What do you think so far, Echo?
Yeah, it's really good to see Playing Fox and Doughboy, as expected, pushing those 0G lap times to their absolute limit. These guys are time trial masters and are really in their element right now. Oh, did we just see a selection?
Oh no!
CRG Hammerhead. Oh no! Good thing the stream came back for that.
Yeah, great view of Expat dying inside the Hammerhead there. That is an absolute game changer. They were leading the Hammerhead team for pretty much the entirety of that. So now they are they're gonna be on the back foot. Maybe Expat will have to swim the rest of the way. Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Bad luck, CIG, but don't worry, you're immortal. You've put regeneration tech into the game. You can just respawn. Get back out there as quickly as you can and keep placing laps down. I believe what Expat's gonna do now is jump into a ship of her own and let CIG do their own thing, and she'll fly around and give us a point of view of the race.
Awesome. Hopefully we'll get some good views from that. I mean, we're bound to with Expat's expertise. For sure. So yeah, absolutely huge. RIP Team CIG with that explosion. So they'll have a little bit of time to get that back up. It's going to take them a little bit of time. Yeah. Wow, brutal. I was really, really hoping we could see them win that area. Now, one important thing, look at that lap timer. Lap number 37 at the moment for Playing Fox. That is absolutely insane to me. It's been 17 minutes, guys. Only 17 minutes, and they've been able to get 37 laps in.
Not quite a third of the way through the race. So very much interesting to see the CIG team with their recovery. Is there a backup ship available, ready to go? Obviously coming prepared with that. If you can muster your crew and get out there as quickly as possible, turn around that time.
Yep. So we are going to stay on Expat because at the moment it is the one camera that's working for us. So hopefully we'll get out there soon. But just there we saw a collision from Ryu Kira just then. A ship or a ship looking like asteroids. So, I mean, everyone will crash eventually. It's okay, guys. You can admit that you crashed into a ship. It's okay.
And you know what? This is one of those risks running these larger vehicles that Hammerhead obviously a little bit less maneuverable, so you don't get the responsiveness that you would need to avoid some of those collisions. So,
yep, definitely. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get these sorted for you guys next week because there's just some really, really good, awesome visuals that you'll get to see. But I do want to say thank you for everyone for coming to watch the first day of the Scarlet Apex. I think this may, if I'm not wrong, Echo, but I think this is the second stream on the Anzia Racing official account. So make sure you guys follow and make sure you guys hang out for a bunch of awesome racing content over the course of forever until Echo gets tired of it.
Hit that follow button. We got plenty of folks out there watching the event today. Follow Anzia Racing to see future events like this. We've got Heat 1 today, Heat 2 next week. Heat 3 coming in on the 28th after CitizenCon, and then the championship coming in December 4th. So follow Anzia Racing here in order to get notified and be part of those, and just show some support for the community that puts these races together, developing the rule sets, all the production that's gone into the introduction videos, the prizes, and really just the brainchild behind it all. And a big round of applause for EchoBit helping us get that managed.
Yeah, definitely. And a quick correction there, not December 4th, but November 4th.
Oh,
you guys for the championship event.
Calendars are hard, you know.
What even is December, really, when you think about it?
Yeah.
So we're approaching the 40-minute mark. 20 minutes down, guys. 40 minutes left. We have quite a few ships destroyed still, trying to make their way in, get some more laps in. At this point, I think CIG, the only way they're going to be able to get back in this is if we see another collision from Ryokira, possibly. Although the fact that they haven't updated their laps in a while makes me think that that collision may have made them inoperable. So it's possible from what we're seeing that Ryokira and their team actually have had to do it again. So there we go. So we can see that. So ignore the green flag. Ignore that. It's fine. Everything's fine. There's no flags. Flags don't exist. But
What's that? We're under green flag conditions anyway.
Oh yeah, true. We are going. That's fair. Do you
I'm just doing a technical refresh of the timer.
Of course. No worries. No worries. Apparently the crash got out of the way. Smooth sailing from here. All right. So should be okay. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a fight back for Team CIG.
Yeah, it looks like Expat is coming back on board with the CIG team and getting ready to take off there. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out if they're able to get into a position and rejoin that race. So obviously a backup vehicle ready to go. Expat here addressing the stream. I'm not getting audio for that. I'm not sure if stream's getting audio for that, but obviously having something important and dramatic to say about the trials of this type of a competitive event.
Yeah. So there we go. After we saw that refresh, so yeah, you can see that Ryokira, they have been able to actually get quite a few extra laps over Team CIG since that explosion. But, you know, the Hammerheads at the moment seem to be the ones that have been having the most trouble on the field other than everyone else. So maybe that's the hardest one. You know, I definitely think it's the hardest one in terms of who has 7 friends. You know what I mean? That's just unrealistic. At least Team CIG have employees.
Yeah, you know what? And honestly, that is a good point. Anybody that's a Star Citizen backer, you might have 6 friends, but only one of them has not gotten tired of you talking about Star Citizen, right?
I'm going to use that for sure.
Yeah, I've got a swear jar at work that I put $1 in every time I talk about Star Citizen too much, and it's how I fund my next ship.
Yeah. So we've got some classic Star Citizen issues. Professor Decoys have to exit 2 menus. As we know, that could be for any number of bugs necessarily that's been happening, but a little bit brutal for them. Luckily, Billboy was right on their tail, so at the moment, nothing too hard for them. Plus, they were 8 laps ahead of Noisemaze, so, you know, well, actually, Playing Fox would have been 9 laps ahead. So even with that issue, I feel like they can probably still get back in and get some decent times here. Let me do some maths. If Playing Fox was on lap 49 and 22 minutes, how fast is that on average? This is what I need to be doing this whole time. So let's go. So it was 22 minutes, 49 laps. So that's 0.4 of a minute. What's 0.4 of a minute? That's the average lap that Playing Fox had.
Yeah. We are looking at a 27-second lap time.
Yeah.
26.9.
As an average, right? So incredibly fast. Here we go. Zolna has had a death after a rejoin. Yikes.
Oh, man.
Big
and, you know, folks respawning here at Grim Hex, it is pretty close. Obviously, getting out with their backup vehicles and everything aligned. This is a Hospital Qiong stream, as we see Noble CIG giving us the what for.
We're gonna win. We're gonna win.
I'm sure there's a pep talk going on right there. making sure Expat is safely seated. And you know, I do have to hand it to her. Everyone else in hospital gowns coming on that recovery ship, but Expat fully geared. She's got her armor ready to go. So
our Scorpius has exploded, ladies and gentlemen. Jace Nash in the Scorpius. That one is Gonski, is another explosion from them. So that's going to push them even further back. They have a lot of ground to make up once they come back in. They are, well, it looks about 30 laps behind our other two turret teams at the moment. So very, very rough for them, but we've been seeing explosions left and right recently. So maybe Void Noise and Frontier Consolidated will experience that anytime soon. And then Team CIG are wasting no time getting back into the arena. I don't think I've seen someone exit that fast from Grimhex since the last time I was bounty hunting.
Yes, and of course we saw them dump their missiles as they exited, ensuring that those are no longer in play, not allowed within. This is a distortion weapons only, so CIG getting the dumbfire missiles just to announce their presence for the rest of the group. We see them making their way across the asteroid field, trying to locate that Scarlet Apex asteroid cluster.
Yeah, I think that their trick is use some missiles way outside of the event so that it doesn't count as them. It's just Star Citizen being buggy exploding all the ships, I swear. It wasn't us. Looks like we have another incident report. Zilius has rejoined the race. One of our Hammerheads is already back, and we're about to see, presumably, Team CIG have the exact same thing. We're watching them right now. They're not too far away from the entrance now. So all three of our Hammerheads are going to be back in commission.
Yeah, and we saw some of those scatterguns again firing off. We'll have to see how closely they get in and can start lining up on the track, because that the Hammerhead versus Hammerhead fights. I gotta say, I am disappointed we haven't seen somebody just go fisticuffs, toes to toes, and just send somebody into the dark with those distortion weapons. I that's the one thing I want to see here, especially with the other groups, and we'll see if CIG can deliver it.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, I'm watching some perspectives off the screen of some of our fighters going around. And once again, I just have to point out the sheer speed of the races in our duo class. These are the Furies that we've been seeing, is just insane as they come around. Like I said, the Hammerheads do not even have a chance to target them, really. So they're just a non-issue for them, which is why we just haven't really seen many issues for them. They've just been able to go around the track as fast as they can over and over and over again. It's one of those things where it's like, this is awesome to see, but we may have to next year see if we change something about the duo class and maybe force them to bring some distortions next time.
Yeah. And, you know,
I think that's a good idea. Having a weapon requirement would be really beneficial. Yeah, especially, and I'm saying this a little bit preemptively, we are definitely going to Pyro with this race. And pirates are a different breed of races. We may even see some additional weapons unlocked in that race. Yeah,
definitely. That turret is
that sounds exciting.
Things.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. Yeah, we've got the expat delivering the perspective inside there. Nothing says Star Citizen quite like a guy in a hospital gown on a turret seat, ready to make your day a little bit rougher. Now, what's the over under here, Kronzi? Are there vehicle artists out there who've got some skin in the game, working with the CIG team to feed them inside information, or perhaps a little internal betting pool on which ships, people picking their personal favorites?
I mean, wait, sorry, I'm so confused. In what respect? I'm trying to process that.
So first,
yes,
CIG team. Are there internal betting pools? A sense of pride going on for a vehicle artist to say, my ship's going to kick your ship's butt.
Certainly. I got to imagine there is. Imagine all the passion that like some people who play Star Citizen have on certain ships. We see that the passion that the devs have on certain ships, way bigger. Absolutely way bigger. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a ship destroyed from Noise Maze. Our current
top
third place
3.
position, that is huge. Huge. Technically second, as Billboy and Playing Fox are in the same team. So that is massive. Professor Decoy, Numinos, now's your chance. You've got a lot of laps to make up, to be fair, but that's absolutely huge.
All right, we do see this close quarter battle here between the Hammerheads. We see some vehicle debris hanging out outside those pylons, and the CIG team rejoining the race, making sure they get a loop around that pylon and back onto the track. As we see some shots exchanged, and the engine trails of those lighter ships really just nimbly avoiding the rest of the crew.
Yeah, definitely. We have, I don't know whether it's true, but Gerbo, someone we do really, really respect in the racing community, says that they're just pitting because it's halfway. Now, we have seen this in the Crux Cup, where, if you do need to pit your ship, sometimes it's just faster to blow it up, go back, get a fresh one with a full tank, and, you don't have to deal with any of that. So that may actually be the case. Either that or Gerbo's trolling me, which is incredibly cringe, and I can't believe they would do that.
And you know what? That is one of the things we saw during the Crux Cup. Several pilots went bingo fuel and couldn't complete a lap. So having a forced restart here in ZROG, you're expected to go back to Grimhex. I think that might be a strategy some are trying to employ in order to get those last couple of laps out. Because it's a return trip that you might not need to have.
So, Red, I don't know if you remember what I said about Ryukira and their Hammerhead and how CIG were going to get back into the game. But I said that they would probably have to get destroyed. And guess what just happened? Ryukira explosion.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Both Zilius and Team CIG, who really only just re-entered the race pretty recently, only within the last couple of minutes, now have a massive chance to get up there. That's huge. Right in the middle of the race, that's massive.
Yeah, and we did see one of those Hammerhead husks out there. It's a great opportunity for a salvager to come out. Oh no, we just saw another
explosion. That's crazy.
The CIG team putting in work.
Up there as well.
Possibly, yes. That may have been Ryukira was saying. We'll see if we get an incident report, but that was awesome to watch for sure. Also, Numinos, also with an explosion there. So. Yeah, I mean, Playing Fox, as I mentioned, did have an issue a little bit earlier, but I think Playing Fox Billboy, I think they're going to lock this one up for the duos. There's 30 minutes left, 17 laps ahead, these two players. That is huge.
This is going to be absolutely, and I think it goes to show that Fury LX just completely avoiding any real combat, it looks like. Yeah. We do see Tint impacted with wreckage, and his ship has been destroyed. So we've got that going. We have one other LX, or actually no, the standard Furies. Just looking through the rest of the racers here. So Numinos with the third Fury LX coming up on that group as well. So
yeah, here we go. It looks as though there's some Hammerhead v Hammerhead action on the screen. Look at him go. I think this is one of the only big. Yeah, this is one of the only big combats that we'll see.
This is the Scarlet effect. This is what we wanted to see.
Yeah, this is exactly what we're after. 100%. Maybe we'll see something happen. We've got another incident coming through. Zolna is rejoining the race, ladies and gentlemen. Can they push out of last place at the moment? That's what I'd be going for.
You see the CIG team taking a bit of an outside line, lining up so those side turrets have some visibility, and those scatter guns making the approach. You see we got some turret gunners that aren't quite leading their target as much, but yeah, CIG still ahead as one of those smaller ships just deftly avoids the tail end. And you see some damage happening. A very tight turn. This is a risk.
Not to mention, remember, this is Team Zilius that we're watching them fight at the moment. Sorry, which team is that? Oh, Zilius is the pilot, but that's who we're watching at the moment. They are still 6 laps ahead of CIG. So this is a really, really big chance for CIG. If they can knock them down, get them to explode, then it could be theirs.
That's the Black Star Legion group. Zilius at the helm, Onadrim, Warspite, Speedweed, Queen Aria, Lone Wolf, and Serenity Valley on the turrets there. sending CIG a little bit of their thoughts.
Yeah, and some fantastic flying from Blackstar there too. They were quite a fair bit behind Team CIG, but over the course of pretty much one lap, they've lapped them. Right, the only way that CIG are going to beat this is if they can eliminate them, I think.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see some of those fancy console commands busted out, and ships finding their way into unfortunate scenarios. CIG team still working on getting that combat, getting their turrets, some good firing solutions. That is one of the downsides with those scatter guns. All right, the limited range that you have. Compared to something like like the distortion cannons or the repeaters that have a little bit longer range, those scatter guns you've got to be pretty up close and personal, toes to toes, in order for shots to land.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully we can see it. They've made a little bit of distance back here ever since they got past, so maybe they're able to push it a little bit more. So there we go. Jason Nash having to repeat their checkpoints, their previous checkpoint. A couple of issues there with some things. So, it's hurting their chances to get a little bit higher in their division, but they've certainly been giving it to their all ever since they re-entered.
Yeah, and you talk about these larger crewed ships and coordinating your turret gunners, the communication about firing positions, whether you're within the firing arc for your turrets on the sides, and also determining target priority. If you've got some of those smaller ships, those Fury LXs that are going out, do you try and pin a target so that it's more visible for the supporting turrets and take them out? Obviously CIG trying to make it within their own class. Each class out here battling for first place there to move on. But And seeing those, just the engine trails from those Fury LXs as they whip around the track, that's about as much as you're going to see of these vehicles today. The size difference, just the Hammerheads dwarfing them.
It's like driving a PTV, honestly.
Yeah, the Fury LXs and the Fury in general, it's basically as like you had taken one of these side turrets off of the Hammerhead and just strapped a booster to the back of it. They're small, but they are very nimble, and obviously making their way around the track in a very quick fashion.
Yep, definitely. As we begin approaching the 23-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's go over where everyone is. Whoa!
Oh!
Was that
that was one of the
a hurricane collision.
Hurricane!
As the hurricane crashed into the Hammerhead.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that was fantastic. Thank you very much for the show.
Beautiful angle there from Expat as the Hurricane met the broadside of that Hammerhead. And, honestly, I'm surprised to see the Hammerhead in one piece, but encouraging. Hopefully they didn't take too much of a hit there.
Yeah. No, that was absolutely huge. That was fantastic. So what I was going to say, as we're approaching the 20-minute mark, guys, let's have a look at where everyone's positioned. So, Playing Fox and Billboy currently in the lead, 25 laps ahead of their next competition. And the one thing I want to point out is Playing Fox and Billboy have never been essentially more than 2 laps behind each other. They have been able to stay on each other pretty much this entire lap after 82 laps, right? So huge. And there we go. So yeah, it was Deku. They're the repeat checkpoint. Sorry, not the explosion. Oh no, yeah, ship destroyed. I'm blind. Yeah, ship destroyed for them, so a little bit rough, but at least we got to see it. It was awesome. So yeah, Noise Maze currently in third. Deku Des, Professor Decoy. Never mind, Professor Decoy now getting ahead of Deku Des. Tint, Numinos, Ryakira, Zilius, Team CIG, Jace Nash, and Zolna.
Yeah. So Tint with a chance there with Deku Des coming out with that ship destruction now. So. We're definitely Playing Fox has got this by 2 laps and 26 laps ahead of Noise Maze. It is, oh man, quite a battle there up at the top. So.
Yep, definitely. So we're obviously going to see these Furies get more than 100 laps in, which is kind of crazy. Let's speculation again. What do you reckon they're going to get up to? Keeping in mind whether they have to refuel or whatnot. I reckon we're going to see a solid 130 laps out of Playing Fox and Billboy.
You think 130?
I think
We're
130.
currently, yeah. So I don't have the lap count up in front of me, but I know with the amount of time they're putting in, with some refueling, I think 120 is probably going to be very achievable. I'm 130 maybe. Yeah, we can push it. I don't think we're going to see up to 150. Just between
certainly not.
between pit stops, between just general collisions. Yeah, and a good point here that as this race matures, we're gonna have more debris out on the track, and those Furies, they're a little more delicate. You know, you won't take a hit. We saw that happen with the Hammerhead, just really just brushing off the impact from the hurricane that ended up on the bad side of that collision. So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think, look, we're approaching the 20-minute mark. They're at lap 86. Never mind, make that 87 as Flaming Fox crosses the line as soon as I say that. I think we're probably looking at, something around the 120, 130 laps, which is just truly insane, just endurance-wise. I would not want to do that many laps of anything ever.
yeah.
So kudos to you guys.
And with the amount of turns in here, you wonder whether or not motion sickness is going to become a factor for some of these racers that are just they're whipping around the angles, the near constant blackouts through these turns. Have they gone through with like the Sterigen med pens before this race to try and give themselves a little bit more boost on the physical side, avoiding some of those G forces?
I mean, that would be a strategy, right? It'd be a very interesting one to say the least, for sure. I guess we'll just have to find out, as we get a little bit more information about how this entire race goes. And, we've got 2 more heats after this over the course of the next couple of weeks. We're going to find out a little bit more if anyone's got any weird strategies behind the scenes. But I think it's safe to say that Fury LX is certainly as fast as we expected it to be.
It's some jaw-dropping times that it's putting out there, and like I said, the sheer avoidance of the other competitors is I guess a good offense is the best offense is a good defense. Just avoiding those hits entirely seems to be the play.
Yep. Watching from another screen at the moment, I'm just seeing lots of exchanges of distortion. And there we go. Yeah, on the main screen there, these 2 Hammerheads going at it. I do want to point out, though, that it looks like we're no longer on the cool CIG skin for the Hammerhead, which is a little bit lame. We're boring one out now. That may be affecting their performance. It happens.
Yeah, we oughta ping somebody on the community team to make sure that
Yeah, exactly. They do.
But they've got to rep the paints, You've got to do it. So quite the whip around there. We saw the Hammerheads in close proximity, getting a little close. CIG pulling ahead, a little bit away from it, obviously taking a cleaner line on that. And Nubble, CIG leading that Hammerhead through these turns. Pretty clean run. There was the ship destruction earlier. Now, was that a collision with an asteroid, or what was the factor there, and can they avoid that in the future?
Yeah, not to mention the distance between these 3 Hammerhead times at the moment has been getting a lot closer. Look at this fight between Zilius
right
and
on
Nubble.
top of each other.
Yeah, 100%. You're going to be able to get a lot of shots on there. I don't know how many of these distortions guys it's going to take to wreck one of these, but Jesus, this is a lot of damage.
And seeing the wreckage from the previous Hammerhead there, obviously something that needs to be avoided. You don't want to collide with that. With the amount of other things going on, just the noise that you've got to deal with on this track, the asteroid field, the debris is going to be a very tricky thing to avoid.
Yep. One thing I would love in the future from CIG, and yes, this is formally me requesting it, I would love to know how much damage each turret gunner has done. Because I'd be really curious if, there's an instance of you've got a favored side, right? Like, let's say you just put your best gunners on your left turrets, and then you just try to, keep people in that arc the entire time, that sort of thing. That'd be something I'd love to see. So get to work on it, CIG. Let's get that.
Yeah, and that's also one of the factors with a good pilot and coordination between the turret gunners and the pilot. Talking about when you're on recharge for your turret, so that pilot might be able to roll, give the other, the opposite side of the ship, those turrets a better firing arc.
Yep. Echo, we haven't heard from you in a little bit. We're approaching the 15-minute mark. Also, we have a ship destroyed from Ryu Kira. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no.
Down it goes, the Hammerhead. It means Zilius and Novel with 15 minutes left.
Not the lead Hammerhead team.
Yeah, the lead
Go on,
Hammerhead
Frontier,
goes
you
down.
can get back in there.
Frontier consolidated with Loud Guns, Tac Panda, Canford, Darth Bulky, Kureshi, and Scuba Pro. Those folks getting eliminated here with that Hammerhead. We'll see if they can come back out and rejoin. We've got 15 minutes left in this race. It's enough time to get in, but are they going to lose a few laps? And who's going to make that up?
That's absolutely huge. So yeah, Echo Bit. Yeah, we're approaching the 15-minute mark, right? How do you think the race has gone so far? Are you liking the changes that you've made to the structure? And I mean, is this making you excited for Heat 2 and 3? Because it's certainly making me excited.
I'm loving the Hammerhead format. I think that was the best choice we have made. It looks beautiful. It's such a spectacle. And it looks like they're having good fun out of there. Just like, you would battle pirate ships and broadside each other. They're getting the opportunity to do that with these Hammerheads. And I really wish I was in one of those gunner seats right now, broadsiding these Hammerheads. It just looks like so much fun. So yeah, let's do this again. We'll keep this format going.
Hell yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, little pangs of jealousy myself as well, getting in one of those turret seats, and just the amount of hilarity that's probably going on within those discussions, I think is fantastic. Now, here's a question, Qiongqi.
Yes.
After seeing the distances and engagement levels between these Hammerheads in Heat 1, do you think Heat 2, they stick with scatterguns? Do they switch over to cannons or repeaters for a better range? Or go for a hybrid mix and just say, we'll try and go for anything?
Scatterguns are fun, Red. Don't dodge on the scatterguns.
They are. I love them as well. But what we're seeing here is the separation between these vehicles is making it almost impossible to land shots with those scatterguns with their very limited range.
No, I'm sure we're going to see scatterguns the entire way through, but it's more going to be about, we've been seeing some extremely risky flying from some of them, which has certainly not paid off in a lot of regards. So should be mostly okay. Now, we do have a director comment. They are trying to remove a soft dead Hammerhead from the start-finish line, which would be quite nice to get that out of the way. But once again, I just want to point out that Team CIG have been sticking on this other Hammerhead like white on rice. They have not fallen too far behind them for the majority of the race. So one wrong step could mean that CIG get ahead. The Hammerheads have been exploding, I feel like, more than any of the other ships in the race.
Yeah. We've seen several of them brought back in after a ship destruction. The collisions, maneuverability being a big factor. And we see some of those, the Hurricanes chasing after each other. We saw a couple of shots from the Hammerhead towards it. Kind of like a bear swatting at a fly. It might not land, but if it does, it would be a vicious destruction.
Yeah, definitely. Not to mention, guys, we have hit after lap number 100. We're on lap 103 at the moment. Billboy actually falling a little bit aside of their teammate. Professor Decoy, ship destroyed. I mean, they're probably going to be able to get back in time, but I doubt they're going to be able to complete many more laps. It's 12 minutes left. Not much time left. Now, remember, guys, what will happen, by the way, when we do hit the timer is we're going to get a flag, which is going to signify essentially where, your next lap is going to be your last one. So that'll be everyone's last chance to get ahead of each other. So don't fret if the timer goes a little bit over an hour. It's all within the rules here. And I feel like it's been a really good rule set to have ever since the Crux Cup.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to keep the event organized. The 1 hour endurance race and letting folks finish that last lap. Certainly a good format, and I think something that could be easily repeatable. and move on with the future of this event and many more like it.
Yeah, look at the damage coming in on the Hammerhead right now.
Oh, I know.
From, I believe, a hurricane from back there. Maybe their favorite ship got nerfed or something. Maybe they got a bit of a grudge against CIG. Not 100% sure there, but a huge volley coming in.
At some point, you're 20 laps behind, and you
We're
just decide to go
seeing,
scorched
Oh, it's
earth.
the Scorpius.
Next Legion and Zilius and the multi-crew Hammerhead is now in
Yep.
first position for multi-crew
Yep.
class. And CIG also taking that second position. Really well done, guys. Keeping a Hammerhead in
Exchanging
the
a couple
field.
of shots.
And,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, surviving.
Only-
it. Keep it up, guys.
Only 10 minutes left for them to get past the extra 2-lap lead, though. It's extremely tight for them if they're able to do that, because these laps have been taking the Hammerheads, longer than a minute for the most part. We've been seeing these Furies go through over like 20 seconds or something, but something as big as this, isn't that fast.
And we're just watching this Hammerhead get lit up with those distortion weapons. Now, the distortion weapons dealing less damage to shields, so it takes a little bit longer to burn through the shields than it had in previous patches. I think 3.14, 3.15 was when that changed over. Obviously, a vehicle out there that's got it in for the CIG team with their Hammerhead. Perhaps trying to secure a spot for their friends in the other Hammerhead. So,
well, I believe we had a little review, and yeah, we can see it there. I believe that's the Scorpius that we see Jace Nash in. So Esper, trying to maybe get some cool shots for a machinima, thought, hey, let's take out CIG while we're at it.
How many opportunities do you have?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Fantastic. You see the wreckage.
For us, though.
Yeah, great views, and it's good to see that combat happening. I think that was the one thing. We've seen a few brief passes where you get those big broadside engagements, and you see that vehicle getting lit up by these distortion scatterguns. It just a blue ball of smoke, really, when that happens. It's been fantastic.
Yep. 9 minutes left for the initial laps, guys. Team CIG, the team that we've been following all day, still a couple of laps behind. Now 3 laps behind the leading Hammerhead. It is a rough fight for them. Currently engaged in fights with this Scorpius still, so a little bit busy there. I do feel like if we get into the instance where we see that other Hammerhead again, maybe play it a bit riskier. In fact, I think they are not too far away from it there. I think I just saw it underneath them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. While we come in, we're about 8.5 minutes left in the race. I do want to remind folks, this is the second official event on the Anziar Racing channel. You guys drop in with a follow here to watch the additional heats. This is Heat 1. We have Heat 2 coming in next Saturday. We have Heat 3 coming in on the 28th of October, and the championship round on November 4th. November this time. I remember calendars. So drop a follow here for Anzia Racing for this event. The other events are the Crux Cup, Scarlet Apex here. A bunch of events coming up throughout the next several months, and we're excited about it. Also, a quick shout out for the merch store. You get yourself a shirt. The 2553 Crux Cup is what I'm sporting. Kronzi, you want to tell us what you're wearing over there?
This says Scarlet Apex on it.
Yeah. Right. You wear these around the office, and there might be 1 or 2 people who recognize it, but they're the right kinds of people.
Yeah, definitely. All right, looks like we're having a couple of camera issues, guys. We are hoping we'll get all of that sorted for you guys for Heat number 2. But it's been an absolutely fantastic thing to watch so far today with Team CIG. Currently only 2 laps behind Zilius and co. Once again, 114 laps, Red Monster, that Playing Fox has completed today over the course of 53 minutes.
Yeah, so at 114 laps, you said, I think they are getting 130. My guess on 120 is, barring some other major issue, a collision or ship destruction, I think they're reaching the 130. So
yeah,
tip my hat to you on that one.
I also think at this stage, based on how many laps ahead they are of Noise Maze, I don't think they need to continue racing. They are Billboy is 28 laps ahead of Noise Maze. Never mind. Oh, no, sorry. 28 laps ahead of Noise Maze. Playing Fox 4 laps ahead of Billboy. And once again, they're in the same team. So that is 32 laps difference. I don't think they're going to get 32 laps in 6 minutes. So I feel like, barring any, like, disqualification type things, I feel like it's safe to say that team's going to be heading towards the championship in November.
Yeah. And we do see Tint at the top of that class as well. That is, of course, the turret class, Tint and Nextro leading. Decudes with the other Hurricane and Logar Wilco, his turret gunner on that Hurricane, with Jace Nash, Riker Enzo, Outlaws of the Void, bringing up third on the turret crew.
Yep, definitely. Some fantastic efforts by a lot of racers today. Thank you everyone for participating and getting us some fantastic shots of crashing into hammerheads and whatnot. It's been fantastic to watch as we approach the 5-minute mark. Almost over for heat number 1. There is a big old dead hammerhead right there that they've got to avoid. That's always fun to watch.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously playing Fox and Billboy coming with the Fury LX, a significant advantage with the vehicle opting not for the weapons, but for speed. And yeah, I think it paid off.
Yeah, definitely. As we saw, it really, at least, whoa, here we go. We got a big fight between the two hammerheads here. Now remember, if CIG can win this fight, if they can disable this hammerhead, get him to crash, they will have 4 minutes to complete essentially 4 laps. And
does Noble really push the issue? Does he go toe-to-toe and force this combat to hopefully disable? It looks like they may be trying to go for a ram here, putting the hammerhead's bulk to use.
I mean, they're getting a lot more hits. They're getting a lot more hits on than the other team is. So this could be huge. But the time is counting down very quickly. Their laps are not particularly quick. So, yeah.
Oh, and the other team taking a little bit of a different line. We'll see who comes out of this turn ahead, narrowly escaping what looks like some debris out there. But yeah, do they go toe-to-toe and force the issue? Maybe try and collide and taking that coin toss.
I will say, at least from this view, it does look like Team CIG are having a little bit of issues actually getting their turrets on point. So many misses coming that way. And you can see where those extra laps have sort of transpired. Their turns are just a little bit worse. So they come out of them a bit faster, but they come out of them either a lot wider off or whatnot. Although that Scorpius also getting some work in on the other one. Yeah. Everyone pile in to help Team CIG.
Fantastic seeing the exchange of fire here. That broadside that we really this is what you tune in for, right?
Very much so. So, guys, currently leading, Playing Fox and Billboy are ahead as we approach 3 minutes left in the race. And remember, there will be a lap or two after the 1 hour mark as well. Tint currently leading for Frontier Consolidated, I believe. The turret class, fantastic job from them. And of course, Team Zilius in, I believe it's Black Star Legion with Zilius, correct? They are ahead for those as well. And there we go, Billboy with a game crash, not able to rejoin. Luckily, that game crash just happened with 2.5 minutes left in the race. And they were coming second, 9 laps ahead, and they're on Team Play Fox. Oh, there we go.
EIG colliding with some debris there, but managing to pull it out. Let's hope they maintain.
Clearing out the debris. That's all they're doing. They're helping everyone.
And I'm not seeing much fire going on, but they are moving, so we don't have a disabled vehicle out there. That's good. Making an approach, trying to just squeeze out, a couple of laps behind. But
okay, apparently there was an incident that's going to be noted later. I'm sorry, my brain is... It's 2 a.m., all right? So we might find out what that is, but we do have cases where sometimes there are incidents during the race, and we have a fantastic admin team in the background that make sure they look at any of those. Could be any number of things. Could be Team CIG enabling their hacks. You never know. But you know, anything can sort of happen. So
90 seconds left before the race timer ends. Then obviously everybody that's on the track will complete their next lap before getting pulled out. So Billboy reporting in chat here that he keeps getting a 40,014 error. So 12 laps down right now, obviously with 1 minute left. Noisemaze can't make up that 22 lap deficiency. So it is going to be Playing Fox and Billboy up at the top. Noisemaze, Prof Decoy coming in behind that.
Yeah, we have another ship destroyed, this time from DQs. They tried to merge with a rock. I would recommend not doing that, unfortunately. They were quite a fair bit behind Tint, so, you know, with 40 seconds left and one and a half laps essentially ready, you know, it's going to be rough there. Now, Playing Fox finally running out of fuel after all that time. I believe we did have a collision with them earlier on, but there we go. 30 seconds left in the race, running out of fuel. That will still put them as the winners of today's heat with Billboy.
Healthy 12 lap margin.
Yeah.
And final 10 seconds as we watch the vehicles. We'll see it. Do they camp the finish line and send CIG out in a blaze of distortion scatter?
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It has been an hour as we approach the white flag so we can hear everyone go through for their final lap. It's only a matter of time before we find out exactly who wins, but unfortunately, I do believe this is going to mean Team CIG knocked out once again, but so close. They did not let up on Black Star Legion ever since they re-entered the race. They were 3 laps behind the entire time.
Yeah, the entire return to this race, they were engaged at, I'd say, probably 30 to 50% of those turns. They were within firing range. They were making it it was an earned position there. So
yeah. And here we go. Checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen. Echo Bit, my fantastic friend. Will you let us know how the teams have been going? Who's winning? Who's going into November?
So, as it stands, it looks like Playing Fox is going to progress the duo team along with Billboy, their teammate. Congratulations.
Well done.
And then
And
we've
insane
got 10 from
126.
Frontier Consolidated. And Nextro placing first in turret class. Love to see it, and just brought it home then. And finally, Black Star Legion, first place, progressing to the championship. Zilius, well done.
Yeah,
fantastic work
job
there.
So we want a results screen after this, and we'll switch to that once we've confirmed the track is closed and all races have finished.
Yeah, and awesome. We do have some of those racers still on the leaderboard as not being finished, not able to get back into the game. But yeah, Playing Fox. Now, was that 126 laps?
Yep.
All right. Are we doing Prices Right rules? Because I feel like I've got a showcase showdown to show up.
Wow, I didn't. That wasn't part of the deal. You owe me your stream. That's how it works.
Oh my! How about beers at Citizen Con?
I don't like beer.
Well,
that's
your favorite imbibement.
Deal. And you all heard that, chat, so you have to hold him to it. If you see Red trying to get out of it at Citizen Con, you got to get him in. So I'm just noticing, Red, your camera is frozen on stream right now, and it's frozen as if like you're very surprised that I won.
I am actually very surprised that you won. So we'll get that camera going back up. You know what? Everything looks good on my end. I look just as great as ever.
So yeah, congratulations, Playing Fox, Tint, and Zilius for being the pilots that crossed the finish line in our teams today. For some fantastic teams that we're going to see again in November. Once we get these camera issues through again, guys, we will be seeing the races finish. But overall, I think it's a fantastic heat number one. The worst thing about it was me, so that's pretty cool.
You know, and honestly, I feel like you did a pretty good job. We've got our racing positioning finished up. I just want to say thank you to the Anzia Racing community who helped officiate and organize this event. Thank you to EchoBit specifically, who puts in so much work on the production here. All of the profiles that we saw, the race guide. Just thank you very much. Anzia Racing puts in a great amount of work, and it's one of those production level to aspire to. Really. Yeah. So, big round of applause. Make sure you guys follow here on Anzia Racing for our additional heats coming up and future events.
And thank you, obviously, Expat Brat, for being our working camera. Our camera that worked today. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. As well as the
Thank you,
pre-show.
Clancy. Thank you, Red. And thank you, Expat. We love you guys very much.
Oh, thank you. And Gentleman Jazz, you also owe me a drink. I don't know why. I'm just saying it because, sure. Fantastic. It went really well.
I'll switch us over to the final results screen, and we'll switch back to casters, and take it from there. So let's have a look at the final race results together.
Let's have a gander. So remember, guys, these guys don't win any.
In Multicrew, we've got Black Star Legion, piloted by Zilius. Congratulations, you're progressing to the championship. Followed by Cloud Imperium Gens, not far behind. So proud of you guys for staying right next to these other Hammerheads, as well as Frontier Consolidated, Ryukira. All of you guys staying clustered together on very similar laps. It was such a privilege to see you guys fly, race, and combat each other throughout this race. So well done. Alright, let's move on to turret class. And here we have Frontier Consolidated Tint and their turret gunner moving on to the championship. Congratulations, Frontier Consolidated and Tint. You guys put on an awesome performance today. And same with Void Noise. Digides, you're a top 0G pilot. I know you put your absolute best into this. And I'm sure the combat was also fun for you. So thank you so much for coming to our event. And Outlaws of the Void, Isber, first time to our event. Really appreciate you coming out here and pushing that Scorpius to its absolute limits. I hope you had a lot of fun, and thank you for coming to our race. Alright, let's have a look at the next one. And in Duo class, our champion, or our first place, Black Star Racing, moving on to the championship, is Flying Fox and Billboy. Congratulations, Black Star Racing. You guys are absolutely cracked at 0G Racing. You should be very proud of your result today. I don't know how you avoided all of the distortion damage in a Fury LX. You'll have to tell me later. I really want to know what it was like to fly among Hammerheads, firing scatterguns with wrecks everywhere and turrets going after you. You should be very proud of your result today. And same with Frontier Consolidated, Noise Maze and Prof Decoy, Southern Cross Alliance, Numinos and Zona. Thank you so much for coming and supporting this race. I hope you had a ton of fun. It was so awesome to see Frontier Consolidated's Furies with weapons, seeing how that played out. You guys were an absolute killer force out there. And well done to Numinos, rocking the Fury LX. And then we had the combo strategy with Zona and the Razor LX. Trying to go for a more balanced layout was really impressive. Look, really awesome flying today. Love you guys very much.
Yeah, fantastic turnout from everybody who was here, putting in their times, avoiding those distortions, and the Fury LX, demonstrating why it's a choice for top tier racers.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic, which means it sort of gives us an idea of what we're going to see in a week's time, guys, with heat number 2 about this time next week. So same sort of start time. It should be pretty good. We're going to try to get some of those camera views and whatnot that we were watching that looked awesome, we swear, that you guys unfortunately didn't get to check out. We're going to see if we can fix all that up for you guys next week. But regardless, competitors, fantastic job. Thank you for competing. And we'll see some of you guys during the championship. Red Monster, thank you for commentating with me. Echobit, thank you for being the best in general, and being a fantastic admin and director and whatnot. It's been fantastic. Expat, thank you very much for the pre-show. Can't wait to see next week's one. Should be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, and we will close the race out here and see you next time, next week, for heat number 2.